Okay, so buckle up. We got 5 candidates for this next one, which is awesome, and I believe they are all here. This is for Justice of the Peace, Precinct 2. There's no Democrat that is filed for this position, so the Republican primary winner will win the position. And so if I could welcome up the candidates for Justice of the Peace, Precinct 2. First one can grab the microphone too, yeah. Yeah, while they're making their way up, I'll say we've got Charity Alexander, Zachary Carter, Christina Urban Cannon, Ty McDonald, and Karen Thompson. They're all making their way. Awesome. Yeah, if you want to stand, sit, we've got 5 of you. We'll start on, one end, you grab the baton, so you can start out. Each of y'all have 2 minutes to give an introduction, and then we'll get into some questions. And obviously, a lot of y'all up here, so as close as we can stick to the time limits, that would be great.
Hi, my name is Charity Alexander. I am running for this position because I believe my jobs that I've had for nearly 20 years puts me very qualified to handle this position. So on all of your chairs, you'll have my mini resume. I am a real estate broker. I became licensed as a broker in 2021. I've been a licensed real estate agent since 2006, but I have managed our office that entire time. So I know what it takes to manage an office, employees, budgets, things like that. I am a Smithville resident. This is the seat for Smithville. I am also a certified loan signing agent and a notary, which the JP also can serve as ex officio notary. I'm a mom. My daughter is about to be 22. And I am married to my husband, who's a retired Army veteran and retired real estate broker. I feel that everything that I've done up to this point makes me very well qualified to sit in this position. Doing real estate, I'm actually a property manager. I own a property management company here in Bastrop County. And in property management, I hear dispute resolution all the time between landlords and tenants. And this position also hears landlord-tenant dispute. I'm probably the most qualified in property code because I do it on a daily basis. Those parts. I do want your vote, and so I would love to meet every one of you that I haven't met yet. And you can always use the QR code on your little flyer, and you can read more about me and who I am, and also hear my little speeches online as well.
Good evening, I'm Zachary Carter. I was appointed to Justice of the Peace August of last year when Judge Davis, who had served on the bench for 23 years, unexpectedly had to retire. I was her recommendation to take the bench, and I was unanimously appointed by the Bastrop County Commissioners Court to take the position. I've been running for this position, or I am running for this position because this has been a lifelong goal of mine. I started a career in law enforcement so that I could gain the experience to become the Justice of the Peace one day. It just came a little earlier than we had anticipated. I also believe that running for this position gives the citizens of Bastrop County a candidate or a Justice of the Peace that has relevant experience with the law. I've worked for the Bastrop County Sheriff's Office for previous 16 years. I'm a Smithville native. I'm married to my wife. We have a daughter. Grew up in the Smithville community, graduated high school there. Went to college in Blaine, Victoria, San Houston State, and studied criminal justice. After that, I went to work for the Bastrop County Sheriff's Office, starting in the jail, and I promoted all the way up to the rank of lieutenant. And throughout that tenure, I worked with every JP in the county for the last 16 years. I got to work with them hand in hand and gain the experience for a lot of the things that they do, especially in the jail, when they magistrate defendants and read them their rights and appoint court-appointed attorneys, set bond conditions, things of that nature. I then went on to work as a deputy sheriff once I was released from jail. And I did a number of things working for the sheriff's office. I answered emergency calls for service, performed life-saving measures, I made arrests, I wrote probable cause affidavits, and I worked with the Justice of the Peace during inquest, which is an investigation of the cause of manner of death. Thank you.
Hi, y'all. I'm Karen Thompson. I'm running for this position also. I don't know if y'all noticed the Zachary put in front of me. Did you guys notice? Yeah. Okay. I am a Christian conservative, and I'm a registered Republican. I've been a registered Republican in Bastrop County since 1996. I have never voted Democrat. I'm also a fifth-generation Texan, and I believe that my strong voting record speaks volumes, as I have the highest Republican voting record amongst all of my opponents. Well, within the last 10 cycles anyway, that's as far as it goes back. My background as a nurse for over 25 years in a busy level 1 trauma center, mostly in the ER, makes me an ideal candidate for Justice of the Peace position, since a large part of that position includes being a quote-unquote coroner, because of course you all know that we do not have a medical examiner here in Bastrop County. I've also worked as a nurse in prisons and jails, so I'm familiar with the workings of the inside of the jails and prisons and all that entails. My background also includes working as an assistant manager at an apartment community in my early 20s in Houston, Texas. It was a pretty large community, and then I transferred to a larger community in Midland, Texas about 3 years later. This gave me the knowledge of how evictions work, which is also a large part of the duties of Justice of the Peace. My experience and work ethic show that I have the organizational skills needed to make a great Justice of the Peace, and show that I can make quick but informed decisions in high-pressured settings. In my personal life, I am a wife of a very supportive husband. I'm a mother, a grandmother. I have no children at home, and I have no conflicting interests. So I would be able to dedicate 100% to this position, and it's going to take 100%. I do intend on retiring from nursing if I am elected. I look forward to the prospect of serving our community if I'm elected. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Ty McDonald, and I know what some of you may be thinking. No way she's a real blonde. I was not, but I am now. And by the same token, I have not had the opportunity to be in many of these rooms before, but I am here now, and I plan on being extraordinary in these rooms. I have voted in Republican primary before, and I've always been conservative, but like I said, I've never really had the opportunity to be in these rooms before now. I am a wife of former county judge Ronnie McDonald, who some of you who are old heads will remember was the face of Bastrop, that calming face during the 2011 Bastrop complex fires. I am a mother of 3 children, Alexa, Micah, and Michaela. 2 of them are students at Texas A&M University, the University of the state of Texas. And I am a pastor of Bold Church in Bastrop, Texas. I've been a pastor for 22 years, and I have been in ministry for 33 years. I'm a former board member of Bastrop Independent School District, and I was elected to that position and also elected as the board president. I have served the LCRA, the Lower Colorado River Authority, as a soft skills trainer. I'm certified as a life coach, and I've taught things like Myers-Briggs, the personality type indicator. It helps people recognize their own personality type and the personality types of other people so that they can work well with one another. I also taught leadership skills there, and mediation and anger management and things like that I feel will be very helpful in this position. I was a legislative director for a state representative, so I understand policy, I understand rule of law, and I understand how to motivate people, and I also understand how to work with very difficult people. I got that experience working in the legislature. I also got to had the opportunity to serve on the Family Crisis Center board. I am a PhD in theology. I have a master's in theology, and I have a Bachelor of Arts from Texas A&M University in English. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Christina Irvin Cannon. I'm running to be the next Justice of the Peace for Precinct 2. Both my husband and I are lifelong residents of Bastrop. In fact, our children are 9th-generation Bastropians. I'm passionate about connecting with and serving the community of Bastrop County. I'm licensed with the state of Texas for 10 years in criminal justice, civil code, and ethics. During that time, I worked with many county officials in the criminal justice system. I'm knowledgeable on court procedures, magistrate duties, work processes, and many others. I know that I would be a great candidate for this office. I have passion, experience, and a love for our community. Qualities that are necessary to judge are to be able to do this. Think about facts, use impartial discretion, and make a judgment based only on law. I believe it's important for JP's office to maintain a level of respect across the community, from other public officials to law enforcement to our residents. Growth is here, and with growth comes more arrests, more accidents, more inquests. It's vital to have an experienced judge. We need to be prepared for our residents. I am committed to upholding the law, serving the people, and bringing a sense of peace to the community. Again, I'm Christina Irvin Cannon, and I would appreciate your vote on March 5th. Thank you.
Hold on to that microphone, we'll go the other direction, just do it that way. First question is submitted here, and it's one that I think a lot of us probably have thought of. As a JP, you will have to conduct inquests. How would you handle having to investigate a deceased person?
So 10 years ago, I was only 26 years old, and my cousin is only 1 year younger than me. He was 25. On Highway 71, he was in a tragic car accident, and I was on the scene. I was one of the first ones on the scene. And I was there during the inquest and after the inquest. And it was very, very extremely hard to watch that and be there. But you know what? I stood up strong, and I was there for my family in a time of their darkest hour. If I can do it for someone that is directly related to me, I can definitely do it for anyone in the community. I have heart, I have passion, I have knowledge, and I'm here to serve the people.
We'll go down the line.
Part of the responsibility of the JP is, in my opinion, ministerial. And as a pastor, I have that experience. I've been at the bedside of people who were dying, and I helped them in that process, helped their family in that process. I've been with people who have had family members who have died tragically. I've seen people who were going through the dying process. And I think compassion is a large component of that, and also discretion. I would not share information about things that I've seen and heard with others, whether it be on social media or just in conversation, because I think that requires confidentiality and care, and just being able to be a listening ear, and to just be there for those people that are there, and then handling the inquest in a way that's very professional, and being an active listener, and showing that empathy in that time.
Any questions? So, being an ER nurse for the last, probably, I've been a nurse for 25 years. I probably did ER for about 11 at Brackenridge Hospital. So we did see all of the car accidents, all of the deaths that came in. I'm not squeamish about that kind of stuff. I am bound by my HIPAA laws, so you cannot discuss any kind of medical anything with anybody without permission from family. I agree that you have to be very compassionate. You have to care. So I think that's probably the biggest thing, is that you just have to use your compassion. It is a very hard thing to see somebody, say, pulled out of the water that's been there for 2 days. There is a lot of that. There's a lot of suicides. You have to be able to just handle that.
So I have a unique situation that I got to handle inquests while I was a patrol deputy, and now I got to handle them as a justice of peace. My first week on call, I think I had 9 inquests my first week ever as a JP, and I can tell you no two situations are the same. You handle it with care, you discuss it with the family and give them their options, you console them as you need to, and you provide, the resources that the county has for them, because you're going to be in contact with them for some time. It doesn't just end at the funeral or at the cremation. There's a long process that goes with inquest, and you're going to be in contact with that family more than once. So you have to be a resource for them, and you have to be able to comfort them, and you have to know what resources the county provides. And fortunately, the Bastrop County has those resources, and I have the experience of providing those for people. Thank you.
So, as everybody's saying, you do have to have care and compassion. Believe it or not, as a landlord, you might deal with death. In all of the years I've done this, I will knock on wood and pray I never ever have to walk in on someone dead in a house, but we do have to deal with when a tenant passes. And so I know how to handle that with care and compassion with the family of the deceased tenant, and I would take that with me into the Justice of the Peace position.
Next question, and we'll go the other way, so you can start out. We'll pass the mic on down. What is your experience with managing a budget?
So as I stated, I have managed an office since 2006. I manage 150 residential properties, so that's single-family duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes. So managing a budget is my day-to-day job. I help manage properties for investors so that we can make long-term plans to either create long-term investment goals or short-term where we're going to flip it on the offside. So that's what I do on a daily basis. I've also managed employees, so I know how to manage a budget to make sure my employees get paid.
When I worked with the sheriff's office and the jail when I was a lieutenant, we had the experience of having probably one of the biggest budgets in the county, and I didn't single-handedly do it, but I definitely assisted the sheriff's office with managing that budget because we managed several divisions under the jail. Also, being in this position now for the last few months, I had experience handling the Justice of the Peace's budget, and I've had no issues with it thus far.
Well, personally, at home, I manage my budget great, and my family will tell you that I squeak when I walk. As far as like my nursing career, Brackenridge was a nonprofit hospital, so of course you had to make sure that you charged for every little thing, even if it was a needle that you were just going to chunk in the trash. So we, in order for us to be paid, you charged for those things. So it was very important that you do that. And of course, I wasn't in charge of that budget, but I did do my part to try to make sure that that budget stayed on track.
As a senior pastor, I handle a budget for our church. It's a small budget, but it's a budget nonetheless. Also, as a former school board member, we're responsible for governance as board members, and we're responsible for that budget as well. And I'm a small business owner. I own a business called Communications, and there is a budget involved with that. And the most important budget that I have care over is our house budget with 3 children and 2 in college. And so I also squeak when I walk. It's necessary. And so, yes, so that would include my experience with budget, my personal experience, but I've also been a partner to my husband, who I mentioned earlier is the former Bastrop County judge, and he was responsible for $1 million budget, millions of dollars of budget, and I was with him during that budgetary process, and just hearing him talk about things and working through that budget as he was serving those 14 years, and so know my way around the budget.
I was in banking, so I have a lot of experience in finance and management prior to being a professional bondsman of Texas for 10 years. And I also own a plumbing company, so budget is second nature to me. I've always had a strong point at that, and so I complete monthly reports for all companies, and I am very confident in the skills that I have to bring for the budget. I have civil code, criminal code, and ethics across the board. I am the most experienced credentials, and I have the passion. And so here I am, standing strong. Public speaking isn't one of my strong suits, but guess what? I'm here because I'm dedicated and I'm ready. I'm ready for this next step. This has been a dream of mine for a very long time.
we have time for one more question. We'll start again with you. If you were faced with an ethical dilemma, how would you resolve it?
So basically, I would be impartial. I have 10 years of ethic experience, being licensed with the Texas Department of Insurance. And so, I mean, I definitely know how to follow the law, and I know how to follow ethics. And if there was a dilemma, I could go to, someone to help guide me in that situation. But I definitely know that at my core, I would follow all ethical procedures.
I too would follow the ethical procedures. I know how to follow the rule of law and look at written law, but also I'm very intuitive and discerning, and I would use that intuition and that discernment in making those decisions, and also just with prayer, making sure that I make the decisions that would not only honor those people that I'm representing, but honor the one that I serve. And that's my ethical code. That's my standard of living. Making sure that everything that I do, everything that I say, the way that I represent myself represents the kingdom well.
So, living in Smithville and being from a small town, the Justice of the Peace will deal with a lot of small claims courts, things like that. I know a lot of people in Smithville and the surrounding area. You would have to remove yourself, I think, from those kind of cases. If somebody were to come into your small claims court, like my best friend lives here. If she comes in suing somebody, I of course am not going to hear that case. I'll send it to either one of the other justices, or they'll have to file it somewhere else. That is a huge ethical thing, and you have to be ethical in this position. You have no choice.
We have what are called judicial canons to follow. I would look to those first for guidance. I would lean on my peers at the other Justice of the Peace's office. And if it was something that I couldn't handle personally, I would recuse myself and ask another Justice of the Peace to help me with the situation, because we signed bench exchanges for that purpose.
So just like they have canons when you become in the judicial system, we have canons of profession in the real estate world. I am bound by 2 code of ethics, one through my licensing and one through my association. I am also, have received the designation for the C2X through our National Association of Realtors. That means I strive to abide by every ethical code in our code of ethics. And I would carry that. So like I said, I do manage 150 residential properties. Where that would come into play, that is something that I would have to recuse myself, because 75% of those homes are right here in Bastrop County. About 15% of those are sit in Precinct 2. And I would use my ethics and judgment that I do in my everyday business in that position.
Okay, and if y'all want to take 1 minute to close.
So, y'all kind of heard everything that you probably want to hear. Y'all are probably tired of us all talking. Like everybody said, we really appreciate y'all coming in and hearing us. We are here because we care about the position we are running for. I talked about this 10 years ago, running, but I loved Rayma. She was a great JP. I loved going to her court because I knew it was going to be fair and just and to a straight of law. And that's what I want to bring back and keep in there. No offense. Didn't say you're doing anything wrong. But I want to keep that going forward in the JP office of Precinct 2. That is the largest precinct of Bastrop County. And I just want to keep going what Raymond put in place.
I've been serving the citizens of Bastrop County as a public servant for 16 plus years now. I've shed blood, sweat, and tears and put myself in harm's way for this county. I've sworn an oath of office and fulfilled the duties of office, upheld the laws of the Constitution of this United States and of this state. I feel like I'm the best candidate for the position because I have experience on the bench. and I have relevant experience with the law. I will continue to uphold and be fair and impartial and provide justice to the citizens of Bastrop County. Thank you.
So I want to say that there's 5 of us running for this position, as you see. You can't go wrong, I don't think, with any of us. All of us are passionate. All of us think that we can do this job fantastically. Zachary is correct. He's been on the job and has done some of the things that we have not yet. And I'm sure there's questions that you guys would like to ask us individually, and that's great. You're welcome to. I've got a Facebook page. It's Karen Thompson for Justice of the Peace Precinct 2. You can look that up. You can also try to reach out to me on my own Facebook page. It's Karen Cox Thompson. So you're welcome to do that. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. You'll see me out and about Smithville a lot. I hang out at the Old World Bakery in the mornings and drink coffee with all the old biddies. So you guys are welcome to come and join us, okay?
I am Ty McDonald, and I am running to represent the people of Precinct 2. And I believe that my body of work testifies to the fact that I'm an advocate who's compassionate, fair, and balanced in my approach to building people. And I also am adept in making decisions and in also using data. And I am intuitive and discerning. I have a serious passion for making the world a better place, and as JP, I will do justly and love mercy. I'll walk humbly before my God and before you, knowing that everything that I do, I have to answer to Him for. And I want you to remember my name when you go in to vote. If you are a part of Precinct 2, remember the Golden Arches, and remember that McDonald's, who came up with the Golden Arches as their logo, says that they serve over 70 million daily. I plan to serve everyone who comes into the JP's office if I'm elected daily with integrity, with an open door policy, with compassion. And I hope that when you go to vote, you'll consider Ty McDonald and remember that I will love mercy and do justly.
I'm blessed for this opportunity. It has been my dream for a very long time to be the next Justice of the Peace for Precinct 2. The role of a Justice of the Peace is very unique and you wear many hats. This is not a part-time job where you're only on call 1 week out of the month. We need a judge that will be in the office working to ensure justice is administered swiftly and dockets are never behind, to listen and serve the people. I have 20 years of professional credentials that cover nearly every aspect of this job. Guided by the love I have for our community makes me the perfect candidate. I am willing and ready to dedicate the next 25 years of service to our community, and I hope to earn your vote on March 5th. Early voting is from February 20th to March 1st, so if you want to get out to the polls early, that would be fantastic. And I thank you all for joining us tonight. I thank my opponents, because this is the first time for any of us to run for office, and I know that it's not easy to do so. It takes a lot of confidence, and so I just appreciate all of y'all coming out tonight, visiting with us, getting to know us, and we appreciate your vote.
All right, thank you. Now's a good opportunity, by the way, if you need to stand up and stretch, maybe we're kind of, we're past the halfway mark now. Moving along, our next position here is for Constable Precinct 2. And for this position, we have another person who's unopposed in the GOP primary, but has a Democrat opponent, and that's James Scoggins. If he's making his way up here, thank you so much. And oh yeah, you can set the microphone.
Oh,
yeah. Unless you want to run for Constable, we can do that too. Yeah.
I'll leave that.
James, 2 minutes introduction.
Okay, my name is James Scoggins. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up here in Bastrop County. I'm from Smithville. Graduated from there in '88, so a few years ago. Is this thing even working? It doesn't sound like it. I can talk louder than this thing, I believe. After graduating, I went to the Marine Corps. I spent 4 years in the Marine Corps and came back here and started my career in law enforcement. I always wanted to be a cop, and that's what I started being. Put myself through the Travis County Sheriff's Department's academy and came to work with Bastrop Sheriff's Department. I spent 8 years with the Sheriff's Department here. During that time, I went from starting in the jail all the way through as a patrol sergeant. Myself and Joey Dosnowski back there, we were one of the main starters of the Bastrop County SWAT team. So that was one of my main, big things I had going on with the Sheriff's Department that we created and did everything with. Left here and went to work for Austin, the police department, and I spent 22 years there. Started out okay, left kind of crazy. So I was glad to get out of there and retire and retire, April this last year. About 2 or 3 weeks into it, a month or maybe, it didn't take long. My wife said, "Oh, you need to get a job," because I was driving her crazy. When are you going to be home? And so we started that. I seen that the constable's position came up. I always thought about running for office. Thought about running for sheriff for a long time, but then decided constable's where I'm at. 15 seconds. I'm running for it. I'm looking for your vote. I've been a public servant for over 29 years, and I'd love to end my career with the Bastrop Sheriff's or the Bastrop County.
Right. Question here is, what techniques will you use to diffuse a potentially volatile situation when doing your job as a constable?
Well, there's a lot of techniques, but a lot of it is just officer presence when it starts out. I've always had not much of an issue of taking care of and handling problems, either verbally, getting it taken care of, persuading them into doing what needs to be done, or if I had to get physical, I would have to get physical. I think as my last resort, especially the older I get, the worse. I would rather not get physical anymore because you don't heal as well as you used to. Earlier, that was one thing, not now.
One more question here submitted. They asked, illegal advertising signs are popping up all over Bastrop County. I read somewhere that removing illegal signs was the job of a constable. Is that true? And if so, what steps will you take to clean up your precinct?
That I don't have the knowledge on that one, to be honest with you. But I will hang on. Joey. I said no, that's not a job of the constable. There's only 2 things constable has to do is serve papers and then protect the court. And that would be all the JPs that were over here earlier for one of those guys.
All right, then we'll do one more here. It's the same one we answered. Name one thing about you that we won't find out from reading your website.
Oh, I don't have a website.
One minute to close.
Again, I would love to finish my career out with law enforcement at the Bastrop County. I'd love to be your constable. There's time to change. I can say this: when I started work here in 1993 to 2023, the constable's position over there has not changed. They do the same thing all the time, every day. I know Precinct 1, Precinct 4, they have gotten progressive and become a little bit more active, and they're actually doing some work. They're patrolling. They're doing abatement, or they're doing some trash. When the people are dumping trash or putting stuff on the side of the road, they're going in and they're investigating and they're finding who's doing it, and they're getting it cleaned up, or they're getting them either ticketed or arrested, one of the 2 or 3. So that's my goal is to get this more progressive, make it more active, and get more service for what you're paying for.
Thank you so much. Round of applause. Just a note here that constables Wayne Wood, Tim Sparkman, and Joey Zanowski, okay, are on the ballot, but they're not opposed to the primary and general elections, so just want to make that note. as we start our next set of candidates. It's here for County Commissioner, Precinct 1. We've got Charles Brading, Butch Carmack, and Dominica McGinnis. And so if y'all can make your way up, County Commissioner. Can 2 minutes introduction, and then we'll go on to questions.
Wait till Butch gets here.
Oh yeah.
Wow, what impressive. A lot of people showed up to hear us talk, and I appreciate that. I am Charles Brading, and I am running for County Commissioner. I want y'all to learn a little bit about me. I grew up in Temple, Texas. I joined the Air Force out of high school, see the world. Actually, they sent me to Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio and in Bergstrom Air Force Base. So the Air Force does have a sense of humor. The world was 110 miles long. When I got out of school, I went back and continued my education. I got a degree in civil engineering. And after I got out of school, I was recruited by the City of Austin to Public Works, which involved drainage, roads, the miles of roads, bridges, culverts. I know that business. I know drainage infrastructure. I've done management. So I got to handle it. Boy, this public speaking, it can be difficult, folks. Anyway, so I have a lot of technical skills. Now, the county commissioner isn't just about streets and bridges. That's true. They sometimes have to go represent themselves at the legislature one day, and they'll be looking down at ditches the next. So there's a lot of hats that this man has to wear. And he has to represent you in a lot of ways. He's sitting on the commissioner's court, deciding right-of-way issues, hiring, passing the budget, setting your tax rate. For a matter of fact, our commissioner court has lowered the effective tax rate for the last 5 years. So they are doing a good job for you. Anyway, it looks like I'm almost out of time. I look forward to hearing your questions. And here's to you, Mr. King.
Thank you. I'm Dominica McGinnis. We came armed and ready to bring a lot of information to you because there's a lot that the commissioner does. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. For those who don't know, you do have a pamphlet. It has a QR code on the website. But I'm a former Army captain. I served as a military police officer at Fort Myer, Fort McNair. Most of you guys know that as Arlington Cemetery, and also the place where the president runs. And so that was my duty station. I served 9 months as the provost marshal. For those of you who don't know, that's the head of all emergency services. And so I had over 180 soldiers that I was responsible for. I've served large organizations and small organizations. I am a mother of 4 girls, so by far the hardest job I've had. My youngest is 16. I have a cardiovascular nurse as my oldest, one at Texas A&M and one at UT Dallas, so don't blame me. And so we have a lot. I was a homeschool mom, by the way, so I'm kind of a masochist, but I enjoy self-sacrifice, and I sacrifice for the county. One of the things I want to make sure that we talk about is that this is more than just a position that is deciding about roads and bridges. These 5 people who serve on the Commissioner's Court, they decide how all your local tax money is spent. So if you don't know, it's important to pay attention, not just to the one that you can vote for, but to get to know them all. Because roads and bridges are only 8% of your tax dollars. Who's making decisions around the other 92%? Okay. I want to make sure we understand that it's important that we advocate and interact with all levels of the county, all levels of government, federal and state. And so that's something that is important, that we have the interpersonal skills, the ability to build relationships, team, and to cooperate with one another and to get along with one another, and yet still stand strong and say, this is where the line is. We have a lot going on in our county. The most important thing is growth, and we'll address that as we go.
Hi everybody, I'm Butch Carmack. Well, that's my best Joe Biden impersonation. I've been serving the Bastrop County now for about 21 years. I'm a small business owner. I've had a lot of friends, made a lot of friends over the years. I love moving to this town. I moved from Northeast Texas, third generation Texan, I believe Texas. Been married 30 years, God help me. 2 daughters, 2 great daughters, 2 great grandsons, 2 awesome grandsons. What else? Oh, I've been Arts House business owner for 20 years. Heck, I've done that. Made so many friends. Taken care of so many people. I've been in customer service. What I do is take care of people. I know the county commissioners have got a lot of jobs with taxation and all that, but they've got to take care of people. I'm the guy that's going to take care of you. You know, I'm not going to be pushed around. Nobody pushing me around because, you know, the ones that have tried have found out pretty quick that don't work. So I'm going to stand hard. I'm standing here not to do this for myself. I decided to do this for all of us. So I'm here to take care of us. I don't know, I'm horrible just public speaking, so I don't really know what else to say. I think I got 30 seconds left, so I think I'm just going to give up now while I'm here.
Well, hold on to the microphone. To start a couple of questions. This question says, I've heard county officials say we can't do much in the county regarding developers and growth. So the question is, what can you do? What do you propose to promote smart growth and development in the county?
Well, we know we've got these developers coming in here and they are building as quick as they can. And unfortunately, we've got the wrong element moving in here because the housing's cheaper here than it is in Austin. So we've got the left moving in. We have got to figure out a way to fight what's coming in. I don't know if that's, in my opinion, we need to create conservative jobs. There's nothing here in this county to hold your children here if they decide not to go to college. I come from Northeast Texas. There's a lot of blue-collar jobs up there for uneducated people, and they make good living, you know, $78,000 a year living. So my opinion is we need to bring those jobs to Bastrop County and create conservative jobs to fight what's coming in from over there. Thank you.
Same question, yeah.
Same question. There was a House bill that was put forward to allow counties that were adjacent to a county that has over 1 million people to create some regulations and policies that would help for our county to basically put zoning and regulation and some procedures around when developers could do things. That bill passed the House but was killed in the Senate. So I think it's very important that we continue to advocate. It had the broad support of all the commissioners. It continues to have support. I think it's a very good idea. And what we want to do is to call our senators and say we need to get this out of committee and continue to fight for it. And that's why it's important that you be able to advocate and understand what's going on. Other than that, there are certain permits that can be done, but very little stops growth. So we can't stop it, but we can strategically plan for it. And so we can't put our heads in the sand. We have to have a good, strong idea of what makes Bastrop great and continue to build upon those things.
Mr. Gill is absolutely correct. You are the ones that are key. When we get the Senate that can actually pass the bill, where the county commissioners have more power, that's important. As at this point, some of these tie-ins to the roads and stuff, when we change our codes and enforcements, that we have some limited ability, but Texas is a property owner state where they let property owners do develop in certain ways, so there is progress that's being made in the Senate. But until then, there is going to be growth, and through proper permitting, we can at least get a little bit more control. But it is a difficult thing for the county commissioners to deal with.
We got time for one more question here. What is your voting record, specifically if you've previously voted Democrat? When was the first time you voted Republican, and what made you switch?
I have voted Republican most of my life, and I made an error. I did do a hope and change once, and wow, I did not get hope, and I did not get change, and I was taught, and I'm going to vote Republican the rest of my life, but I'm going to be straight up with you. I bought into it. It was a bad deal. So I will be a lifelong Republican. They taught me well not to go down that path.
Well, I'm almost 50 and I've never voted Democrat. And I've always been a conservative. I am endorsed by the Bastrop County Conservatives, as well as Mel Hamner and Commissioner Clara Beckett as well. And so I have a strong voting record and a record in this community.
Does anybody in this room ever believe that I ever voted Democrat? I guess that answered that question. What else does it say? No, I haven't voted Democrat.
Each of y'all have 1 minute to close if you want to start out.
Yeah, actually, I'm currently serving my second term on the Bastrop County WCID board. I've actually got 6 years experience with county budgets, with county road construction budgets, with county employees budgeting, with county infrastructure budgeting, and hiring and managing county employees. I decided to take this job because I was afraid if I didn't what we might get. And having said that, I wanted to be sure that we were all represented in the proper way, the way we all want to be represented by our beliefs. And that's why I decided to do this. And thank you for listening to me.
I appreciate the level of support that we've received from the community in doing this. The county commissioner's role is a very tough one. People said, are you sure you want to do that? Do you understand what you're getting yourself into? And the answer is yes, I know. You basically are the person who everyone complains about and complains to, because no one goes around and goes, I just love our roads, I got to call Mel and tell them how wonderful those roads are. We go doggone it, Lover's Lane. Right? But that's the point, that we all have to serve. And I was part of trying to find great candidates to serve, and someone said, what about you? And God said, what about you? And I said, yes, sir. Follow orders, right? And so I took this role up. It's one that I don't take lightly. Those of you who have a lot of questions, I invite you to come to a meet and greet. It'll be Thursday, February 8th at 5 o'clock at Piney Creek Chop House. I'd love to answer more questions then. Thank you.
I did get to tell you that I have 4 sons, 10 grandkids, and 3 great-grandkids. But I am currently the president of the POA. I manage that, I sign the checks, I've managed people most of my life, I've done infrastructure. But the real question about a county commissioner, and this is what it means to you. When you're having that problem, 60% of this is street and drainage, it really is. And when you have that problem with street and drainage, you want a professional to come out there and talk to you and see your problems and tell you what's wrong and try to fix it, because they've known, they've done it for years. I also am going to have a meet and greet on 7th at Ham Bones Restaurant. If you haven't tried it out, it'll be good. It'll be on the 7th at 6 o'clock. Invite you, and anybody that has any question to talk about what I am and who I am, I'll be here after this meeting. And I truly thank all of y'all for coming out and listening to all these. All of us are good candidates, I believe. So you can't go wrong voting Republican this year.
Thank you. Thank you so much, all of y'all. Thank you.
All right.
job. If we knew what the date was 2 years from now, we could book them in advance, right? Be great. All right, so wait a minute. Before you guys all start walking out the door, how many of you think election integrity is an important thing? Okay. How many of you folks have taken poll watcher training? All right, I didn't see very many hands will go up. I saw a few. Okay. Poll watchers are the volunteers that go to the polls and watch, but you have to take the training. Okay, so we're going to offer some training, and it's going to be Monday, February 5th in the evening. I think it's 6 o'clock. Watch our website, but February 5th, that's a Monday. It will be at the Lost Pines Republican Women Clubhouse. That's opposite St. David's Emergency Room on the feeder road after the Super 8. Watch our website, get on our email list. I'm sure the Bastrop County Republican Party will put out information about it. And we need poll watchers. Candidates, where are you? Candidates. Candidates, you all get to appoint poll watchers. Do you know that you can appoint multiple poll watchers for every polling place? I mean, think of that. How many candidates did we see tonight? 17, 18? If we had 2 poll watchers appointed by every candidate at every polling place, do you think anything would go wrong? I mean, you'd have like 36 people sitting there watching everything that's going on, plus the party, okay? Poll watching is really important. Now, you can do it online. You can do it from the comfort of your kitchen. You can get your certificate printed out, but what fun is that? Okay, we have a lot more fun if you've never been to our clubhouse. We have a kitchen, we have a refrigerator, we serve food, we serve iced tea and water. We have a good time, all right? So come out and get your poll watcher training. If you can't use it, you can't use it, but come out and get it. It's really important to understand what goes on. All right. How did that sound? Was that pretty good? Because I think it says that I'm Lucy Trainer right now. And that's not a fake. Lucy's going to do the training. Okay. I really want to thank Brandon, so you didn't have to listen to me for too long. I didn't have to stand up here the whole time. He does a great job. And please stay and visit with the exhibitors who are going to stay. I told you at the beginning, these people who took tables helped us cover the cost of this event. The women of the Lost Pines Republican Women, if you're not a member, go see those ladies back there and join our club. Like I said, we have a lot of fun. Men can join too. Oh, John Louts reminded me. Men can join too as associate members, and as he always says, it takes a strong man to join a woman's Republican club. Yeah. All right. Real man. Candidate signs are out in the lobby. Please take them. If you want 4x4s, I'm just going to say for Michael Cloud, the signs are out there. What do you call those things that you put in the ground? Yeah, those big stakes. Those are in my car. I couldn't carry them all in. So see me if you want 4x4 Michael Cloud signs. Is that it? Are you tired? Did you learn a lot? Thank you for coming. Go visit with our exhibitors and our candidates. Thank you all.
I enjoyed sharing the evening.